This is The Growl with your host, William.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. Catch me howling at the moon. Trying to catch me howling at the moon. Trying to catch me howling at the moon. Trying to catch me howling at the
Hey, glad you made it out to The Growl. This episode, I wanted to talk about true present and the legacy of your present. I've found over the years, especially when the law of attraction came about, the book The Secret, lot of, YouTube, what do you call them? Life coaches, you've got inspirational speakers, you've got all these people, authors and Instagrammers and everybody. And everybody seems to talk about this true present. And, I've even, you have that where, every day you have $86,400, but at the end of the day, it's gone. How are you going to spend that money? Trying to give you that concept of that this is what you have and this is the time you have and how are you going to spend it, what are you going to do, and make sure it's valuable, your return on your investment. And I get that. And then, you have the others that are like, live today like it was your last. Great concept. And in my humble opinion, if you were already financially free or financially stable, I think that would be a reality. I think most people could probably get their head around that and live every day like it was their last and appreciate that and truly understand that true present. But there's the rest of us. And we have schedules and children and family and itineraries, jobs to go to. We have all these things in our life that have time frames. And they definitely, they have a tomorrow. They definitely have a past, and so this true present is, well, it's an enigma, I think, for most people. And I think that's why a lot of people because, it's funny. You have The Secret, the book comes out, Law of Attraction. And, I read it, saw the movie. And then you have this, manifestation and just, visualize like you already have it. And, you'll get it in your thoughts. And I get that, right? The fact that I'm speaking to you and I have a podcast, that was thought. That was somebody's thought at one time. Before that, somebody thought the microphone and the software, how to, generate, back in the days, the tape recorder, and then it went back to the tape reels. So I understand the concept that everything we think has the ability to be manifested. I do believe in that wholeheartedly. We wouldn't have the technological advancements today if that wasn't the case. But again, the rest of us. So I've always find it amusing when you have, this is, the book, The Real Secret. We have discovered this new, I've seen everything from audio hypnosis to even the authors and philosophers from the original secret are, well, I found the real secret behind it. So if you pay $3.99 for my DVDs and my book and my training course, we're going to get you there. And Tony Robbins. I believe, he's definitely multimillionaire. I don't know if he's even achieved, billionaire status. I didn't look it up. And his inspirational weekends and his classes and his webinars and all these things and people and, they're paying for this, paying for that. And and we're there. But it's still, right? You still end up, I know I do, right? You get inspired and we're here. And then, you give that a couple of nights of welding on my shift and, I am tired, I'm getting older, I'm still young, don't get me wrong. And I believe that. I believe youth is a state of mind. The body, that'd be great if it would follow along with that, right? But I'm getting older, so you end up, and it doesn't have to be some hard construction job or industrial. People that a lot of brain function, it actually uses up. I think they said that just thinking is actually like 36 calories, right, per day or per hour. I don't know. I had heard it once, but so even people that are in intellectual positions, even your white collar positions, at the end of the day, you're wore out, right? You've been thinking, talking, engaging with people. Any of that wears you out. You don't have to have some blue collar industrial job to be wore down at the end of the day. Mind you, white collar, you probably don't have the aches and joint pain that I do just from, constant lifting and bending and kneeling and doing all that stuff in your work environment, but it's the same thing. Exhaustion is exhaustion. And when you sit back and you finally get a chance to relax, well, then you're okay. So I've got The Secret, I've got this, Law of Attraction, I watched this Tony Robbins, webinar. And don't get me wrong, Tony Robbins is amazing. And anybody that does this and inspires people is amazing. But that's kind of the point I'm getting to is that, they only go so far, right? They only go so far. And I think even Tony Robbins has admitted it, that he's like, hey, look, when the weekend's done and you're jazzed up and you're good to go, but you get back to life, it's like that's when the real work happens. That's when it happens because you got to stay motivated. You got to do that for yourself. So, living every day like it's your last, well, to really truly do that, you've got to have no concern over tomorrow's schedule, right? You've got to have no concern over, your kids. You got to get them up to school or summer camp, whatever the season may be. You've got to, you've got to get to work. You've got to make sure that, you're up early enough and breakfast and the morning routine, and you got to get all these things going. And then, of course, end of the day, you come back home and, then you've got your evening schedule, especially families, right? Especially families. You have your evening schedule. So you can't realistically live every day like it's your last. You really can't unless, my position, my daughter's grown, my grandson, but I'm in a position where, I'm single and I can do and really go anywhere I want, right? So, however, I don't have that financial stability to live every day like it's my last, right? I still have a schedule I have to keep. Got to show up to the day job, and I got to continue to work on, my own dreams and my own goals of doing voiceover and, the things that I enjoy and the things that I want to study and grow and learn. So I keep thinking about this and I keep coming back to this, and it kind of ties in with the last episode where people you get overwhelmed, and it's not even like the perfectionism. That to me is an actual mental and emotional illness. That really is, that perfectionism. That is, and for people like me who have gone that and have gotten there, um, it's even more difficult. But let's just talk about you and your schedules and your the things you have to do every day and the things that you have to plan for tomorrow. These are things that you just can't walk away from. You just can't be like, well, if this was, my day, if this was my last day on earth, I'd just go to the amusement park. I'm just going to go ahead and blow that $5,000 in savings and I'm just going to take a vacation and I'm just going to come back. And if my job's there, it's just not a reality. So I started thinking about it, and I do understand the concept that, that $86,400, as that's how many seconds are in a day. And once, and you have that day, and I understand where they're going. You open up your eyes, you go through that day, and when you close your eyes, that day is gone forever. And I get that. And I think most of us do get that. We understand that. But we get so caught up in the itinerary of life that we forget about life itself. And I think that's what they're trying to get us to break through. So, thinking about that and kind of my own concept and in my own humble perspective, wanted to introduce something that may help you kind of keep that itinerary, keep that, the schedule, not be so overwhelmed, but yet still be able to achieve and keep yourself in that present state of motivation, that present state of mind, where what you are doing right now is what is valuable. What you are doing right now is what is ultimately creating what you want. I'm going to refer to this as the legacy of your present. So you get up in the morning, and when you open up your eyes, you are born into this day, okay? You are. And you start this day with the legacy of every choice, experience, wisdom, everything you've gained, lost, joy, happiness, pain, sorrow, everything. You start this day with the legacy that you've left to yourself from your past. So you look at the day, and yes, you have your itinerary, you have your schedules, you have these things. But if you look and you break the day down, I guess, into choices. And as you go through the day, small choices where instead of on your lunch break, you look up like a YouTube how-to video, whether it's something that maybe you need, that you want to get done at home, you need to fix some plumbing, or you go to Udemy, you start, an online course. The other choice could play a game on your phone, could just chat with your friends, and coworkers, could, look at Facebook, for that half an hour or hour or whatever you have. And it's the same thing with your breaks throughout the day. So it's these choices that you then start looking at. And it's okay. Well, what is valuable to you? What do you want to achieve? I bring up an example of Colonel Sanders, right? Kentucky Fried Chicken. And it's funny how I've seen it on Facebook, and I've seen it, kind of your Instagram, your Facebook, your tweets, these inspirational things. And I understand they try to bring it about that, Colonel Sanders, he was, and he lived this just horrible, terrible life and didn't get anything accomplished until he was 65 years old. And then he started, suddenly made his millions and let this inspire you, never give up kind of thing. And it's cool. But I actually did the research and I looked up his life. And mind you, the facts were there, but his life really was a lot more boring than what these, inspirational stories tell us. Now, did he go through struggle? Yes. Did he go through several jobs? Yes. Did he, were his choices not the greatest throughout his life? No, they weren't. He ended up, there were times he was homeless. There were times he was, he was struggling. He was actually, I guess he was prone to fighting and lost a lot of his jobs that way. Had his first wife. There was a divorce. There were times his second wife, him and her, they were actually, they would sleep in his car. They were traveling across country. And he was trying to get his chicken, because he actually had a gas station that he worked at, but he would prepare his chicken while people would come by. And he got the idea, well, okay, let me, these people that are coming by, these travelers, they're coming in, they're enjoying, the mashed potatoes, gravy, this chicken. They love this chicken. So how can I get this into another gas station? How can I start getting this out there? And the universe kind of forced things because they moved the highway away from the restaurant, forcing it pretty much to shut down because it just ran out of customers. People were no longer driving right by it to stop. So he steps out. He goes and he's like, yes. And, he's like, okay, so, I'm going to get my fried chicken into these restaurants, and a nickel for every piece of chicken that's sold will be in my pocket, and we're good, right? Now, it wasn't really until he was 65 that he ended up, kind of selling off, the franchise rights. A lot of details, you can look up his story. But it was when he sat back and he envisioned this, I believe there was probably no concept in his mind that, this is going to be a multi-billion-dollar industry. My chicken is going to be sold all over the world, and I'm going to be a millionaire. I think he just knew that if he made the right choices every day, and he began to make those right choices and move towards a goal that was, one, realistic. Okay, how did he get his chicken? How could he franchise his chicken to other customers? And then creating a plan around that. Now, yes, mind you, he was kind of the traveling salesman. So he didn't have, again, it's the itineraries and the things that we have in the day job, and you can't just get up and just walk away. You can, but not without struggle. So being able to keep the reality of your situation, keep your day job, keep the schedule going, kids moving, schools going, things are, but yet still being able to create this dream that you want, this passion that you have. In achieving the steps to get there, the legacy of your present, the choices you make today are going to build the legacy you wake up with tomorrow. Because when you close your eyes at the end of the day, this day is gone. So it is dead. It is gone. So you are born and die essentially every day. I know, a little intense, but you get my drift. It's you have a short period of time to build a legacy for your future. And the choices you make today are going to create that legacy when you wake up and are born into that next day. So you don't have to dive off the cliff. Some people do. Some people have been very, very successful that way. They took the ultimate risk, and now, they're millionaires and they're doing this and living the high life and doing that. Majority of us, it's a grind. It's a grind to get where you need to be. So there are skills that you need to develop. There are things you need to learn, people you need to meet and talk with and learn from. That legacy, building on that, it's small choices. You want to lose weight. Well, okay. So you have these choices today. What can you do today to start that? Does that mean you have to run off and get a gym membership and next thing you know, now you're doing 8 hours a day in the gym and you don't. I think we as human beings, we overdo things. We really do. But just give up that 5,000 calorie Starbucks caramel macchiato in the morning, right? Start there. A simple choice. It can be done today. And it builds on the legacy that you are stepping into tomorrow. So it's this legacy of your present, just small things, these small steps. There's, and I forget the philosopher who said it, but the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. In summary, let's let Tony Robbins, let's let these inspirational speakers, let's let them jazz us up. That's what they're there for. And they're there to light up that heart's fire and get that heart's foundry going. And that's what's amazing about them. And then when you finally kind of settle down, and that plane has landed from Cloud 9, let's look at the legacy that they were trying to explain. Let's look at, let's look at these choices we have today. What do we have? We start small. We start moving towards a goal. Next thing you know, you're no longer waiting tables. You actually discovered, holy crap, I have a degree. Because the time will go by. As long as you stay within your present and you know the choices you're making today and the schedule you're creating is building that legacy for tomorrow, you would be amazed. You start learning, you start getting certifications, you go that route, right? Other people, you start researching on a business and something you want to do. So you take time out of the day to Google, hey, who's got a, mobile dog cleaning service in my area? Who's got that? Are they successful? Is that something that's viable? But it's these smaller choices. And I know it's hard, to not get caught up in the social media. And I know I probably sound like a commercial at this point. The video games and all these distractions. But if you just make simple choices, and with those choices, you spend in the beginning just a few minutes a day. Then that turns into a few more minutes. Then it's a couple hours. And then you find that all of a sudden you're on a roll. You're on a roll. And that legacy is getting bigger and brighter and greater. And your future is now really stepping into your present. And that horizon you were looking at that was like so big and overwhelming, you already crossed that threshold like 4 or 5 times. And the horizon you're now looking at is like the next big step, the next big thing, because all of a sudden, now you are making 6 figures a year. You did get that degree. You are that art gallery owner. You are that content provider on YouTube. These things, your dreams and your goals, they're being achieved. So that's what I wanted to get at is that don't, love the hype. It's great, right? Love the hype, but build the legacy. We truly have no future without a past, and we have no past without a present. So let's build today, build small, start small. If you got an extra couple $100,000, maybe start a little bigger, right? It's on you. But let's start looking at it as a legacy. And let's start looking at these choices that we make today that are going to build. And when we wake up, the choices we made yesterday will either make today easy or difficult. And trust me, I know all about that. A good number of days that I've had that have been very difficult based on poor choices I've made. Another episode, another time, another growl. But anyway, Thank you very much for listening to me growl, listening to me ramble. I hope I've helped, and you have yourself a wonderful evening. I'm going to go do the damn thing. You go do the damn thing, and the damn thing will get done. I'm your host, William. It was good growling at you. If you want to hear more growl, get growly with it. By all means, please subscribe. I'm on all popular podcast locations. You can also reach me to rage, debate, growl back at thegrowl@gmail.com. That's thegrowl, 2 W's, @gmail.com. Growling at you later.
Hope they won't shoot me down soon. Tasting on the sleepless night. Will you find me? Hope you find me. When the sun rises, when the sun